UN, but when you talk of physical years and stuff like that.
An exercise any futility. So, but then the issues that one would want to talk about. But let me just say this. Somebody asked if I'm a Christian. I think it was Kenyans. I want to assure you I'm a Christian. I'm a religious person, but this question keeps on coming up severally because I'm of the Quaker faith. And you know, Quakers, when they're taking their oath of office, they never swear by the Bible. So you end up lifting your right hand to affirm. So whenever I would do that in Parliament or at national days, people would say, this man is an atheist. The ones who did not know that that is the Quaker tradition and Quaker style. So I'm a Quaker. Now, interestingly enough, I'm here with my friends. But one thing that maybe now I can disclose is that is this where MIT is? Yes. And is this where Harvard is? Yes. Now, many years ago in the 50s, before any of you were here, my father was here. And those are the two institutions that he studied in. So for me, it's some kind of homage, pilgrimage, that I've come here to be part of the society and the area where he once stayed and went to school. So when I come here, I come with a lot of humility so that I can be part of this process and know that many years later what has happened. Because even when he was here, I was not yet born. That is how far back it goes. But we are here because the Kenyan people living outside Kenya are now so many, they're in the millions. Secondly, they are so powerful in terms of what they impart through their knowledge, and three, in terms of what they do to help in stabilizing the economy of Kenya. Kenyans in the diaspora today contribute the equivalent of about $2 billion annually. That means if you shut your banks or your wallets, you can cause problems on the Kenyan front. So you are now a society or a community that cannot be ignored in every sense of the word by any regime that comes into place. So how do you leverage on your strength for the benefit of the people of Kenya? Not for the benefit of politicians. But of course, I don't mind benefiting from your leverage. But you have to focus on how you can do it. Because as you are here, each one of you maybe has got 100 people in Kenya who defer to you for guidance in one way or the other. Now, if you're in the millions and you can influence those, then you can start shaping the destiny of Kenya. Why do I say so? Because elections come every 5 years. But the worst thing that comes out of an election is usually if we have cast our vote without thinking. Then 2 weeks later we start regretting. but you are locked in for 5 years. That's the truth of the matter. And sometimes you can be locked in even for longer than 5 years. So I want to appeal to you that going forward, one of the things that I would seek from you is to help the Kenyan voter. And some of you have dual citizenship, so you can also vote there. To make sure that our people start understanding that an election process is not about emotions, but it's about rationality. That's it. I keep on emphasizing this. It's not about emotions, but about rationality. We must start putting the right leaders in office. We must put people who will be conscious about their morality. We must put in office people who will be conscious about the need to be decent. We must put in place people who will know and respect other citizens and talk to them in a manner that signifies that you are there to serve them. What we have been seeing is time and again a society that has been embracing impunity. A society that says the leader who shouts most, the leader who is more chaotic, the leader that causes the most rubble and havoc is being painted as the leader we want. So we have reached a stage where yule mwenye kupiga kelele ndio watu wanasema huyo ndio kiongozi tunafanya nini? Tunataka. I was asking people, we have reached a situation where in the capital city of Nairobi, as an example, you want water. We all want water. Somehow, water disappears in your taps in Nairobi. But somewhere in Dagoretti, there are several bowsers selling water. And then one day when there's a crisis, you pay 10,000 shillings to get a tanker which delivers the water. But the fundamental question is this. As the bowser arrives, people wanashangilia kwamba kiongozi ametuletea maji. But surely, should the water be in a bowser or should it be in your tap in the house? Where do you want the clean water? In the taps. So why are we selling ourselves short? As Kenyan people. Yet at the end of the month, you'll get a bill for water. So you've paid all that, and you don't get your bill there. You don't get what you're paid for. But you're paying on the side another 10,000. And who owns those bowsers? Then you go to the cost of electricity, energy. Very expensive. I can tell you, the cost of production in our factories today is about 40% going to energy. So whether you are a manufacturer or whatever you're doing, about 40% of your operational expenses is energy. How on earth are you going to become competitive if that is the cost of power in our country? How much do you pay for power here in terms of US dollar cents? Is it 6 cents per kilowatt hour? or how much? How do you explain when a Kenyan is paying 20 US cents per kilowatt hour? How on earth is he going to be efficient in manufacturing, in agriculture? So these are fundamental issues that I can only tell you that if we start making the right decisions, we can start turning the country around. Today I'm not going to the debts as they have talked. Maybe they'll come up again in terms of the questions. Today there's a clamor for a new constitutional dispensation. We have just finished the other one. There are fundamental issues about the Constitution that we have not fully exhausted. We have not even studied the audit report of the Commission for the CIC Commission, the one that was Nyachai's. They did an audit report about this Constitution, and they are a little bit more specific on what perhaps needs to be looked at. Now, there's so much clamor. Quickly amend the Constitution. I can tell you the grassroots question is this: are you amending the Constitution to create jobs for some political elite, or are you proposing to amend the Constitution because it is going to serve the interests of the country? These are the questions. And we should not shy away from it. We should not shy away from speaking. We should not shy away from saying, even if it is Musalia Mudavadi talking about it, it must make sense. If it is not making sense, for heaven's sake, tell Musalia Mudavadi you're not making sense. Don't just sit on it and keep quiet because it's coming from Musalia Mudavadi. It is the content that we must be looking for, not the faces of the leaders. The content. Don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a book by its cover. This is the simple message that must go back to our people. We have been judging our leaders by the clothes they wear. We have been judging our leaders, sorry to say, by the kind of necklaces they wear. Bling bling. I am sorry to say, we have been judging our leaders by the amount of money they can dish out at church functions, but they do not appear on the official register of Kenya Revenue Authority as the highest taxpayers, but they are donating more than Safaricom in churches. This is how we have been going. And we are causing havoc going forward. We have to turn it around. We have to turn it around. And that's why I speak to you and I say, you have a serious role to play. You cannot be ignored. Kenya is a beautiful country. All is not gloom. But I can tell you, we can do better. There have been some positives, no doubt about it. But we can do better. This thing you heard about the dams, it's true. Watu walikuwa wamepora pesa. That's a fact. An audit report has been brought out. Uhuru has stopped one of them, and he has said the other one, both costs were inflated. These are positive steps in fighting corruption. This story of the dams is a sad story. You inflate by 200%. 300%. In some areas, money was allocated for those dams without feasibility studies. There is a classic dam in Marsabit called Badasa Dam. They started construction. Nobody had done a proper geological survey. When the earth moving equipment went to Badasa, as it was vibrating to excavate, it started sinking itself rather than excavating. It's not a joke, it's true. That is how serious some things have been. So if we were to narrate all of them, we might walk out of here feeling very depressed. But I want to offer you hope. We can do something to create the jobs that you talked about. Jobs for our young people. We can do it. We can settle our public debt or moderate it and have it to manageable levels. We can create a business environment that can make the economy grow even much more than it's growing now. And we can do it by making sure the right leadership is in place. God guiding us so that we think straight, we think right, and we do what is right. That is all we need. And I can tell you, Kenya will be the beautiful place that we know it is. So let us pull together, let us move forward, let us forge ahead. And I'm standing here to say, yes, I am looking for that opportunity to serve you as the President of the Republic of Kenya in 2022. Our team is basically ready and it is growing. And we want members of the diaspora to be part of that team. Let us work together. It is not about revenge. It is not about vindictiveness. But it's about a nation that throws away impunity, respects the rule of law, gives everybody an equal chance and a fair chance for people to be able to bring out their entrepreneurship and their talent so that we can all be a proud nation. You can do it. You can do it. You stay in a country where nobody ever believed that Obama would do it. Kwani Obama alikuwa na pesa ya aina gani? It was not about money. And some of you in the diaspora here, I know you coordinated sections of Obama's campaign here in different parts. So if you could do it for him, why can't you do it for me? So this is serious. Nataka usaidizi. Yeah? Na nguvu zenu, na maombi yenu, alafu tushirikiane, and then we can move forward. A Kenya that will be devoid of ethnicity, a Kenya that will make things work. They've been working, but sometimes it can be very painful. When you see the head of state is pulling this way, he's saying we should go this way, and then we come back to the phrase in Kiswahili, kikukulacho kinguoni mwako. So as he's pulling this way, somebody within is pulling the other way. That should not be happening. That should not be happening. So let us create an environment that tutasukuma gurudumu sisi wote in the same direction, but a direction that is good for the people of Kenya. So thank you so much. Let me not say any more. I have my colleagues here. I will sit so that they can answer the initial questions, if they are there, and make some remarks. And then if there's anything else for me to add at the end, I can add. lakini tena kwa in the normal way they say ukiwa kwa sherehe bwana harusi haongei maneno mengi. you unapoa kidogo, si namna hiyo? So in the context of the politics of this country, I mean of our country, sasa labda mimi kwa wakati huu nakaribia hapo mambo yakuwa bwana harusi, si ndio? Kwa hivyo I should now listen more and talk less.
But teams that IBC had put in place.
I stand here because I was invited to make a few remarks by the organizing committee.
Eleza swali. Ukiona ninafanya nina gani, unafanya nini? Unaeleza swali.
Of Kofi Annan, and so we go Kibaki as the president and Raila as the prime minister, and Mudavadi was the deputy prime minister, that were sworn in at night. And there was war. But for the sake of
Your Excellency Honorable Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi,